Hello everyone, apa khabar? Welcome back to FPL Jedi Show. This is Gameweek 17 pod. My name is Hafiz and would like to welcome my co-host Azmin to the stream. How are you doing?
I'm okay, quite good. Have a good few days break. Of course, in the past few days, all this, we've had a lot of news as well as things coming out of the thing that out of game week 16, which definitely impacts on squad. So lots to talk about.
Yep, there's a lot that we can discuss this game week 17, especially the topic for this week. For sure, people are talking about Haaland injury, Haaland missing, playing in game week 16, and our sub need to come in. But we can discuss that some of us, maybe especially me, lucky to get that vice captain points from who else? Mr. Mo Salah, who actually can I say met the big milestone for him, 150th Premier League goal for Mo Salah. So, what's your take on Mo Salah performance?
Well, I was conscious in my mind when I I did captain him last week because of that record that was on my mind that I would think it was eventually breaking. Although to be fair, Crystal Palace did put up a good fight and Liverpool were quite lethargic. Went back to the uh what we were doing last at the start of the season where we conceded first and then struggle and some of us managed to patch a win. So unfortunately that win included Salah's 200th goal. So really happy there. But it did show a bit like how Liverpool were quite poor, to be fair. Yeah, Darwin was all over the place. Where previously Darwin was a case of all action, lots of chances, but no end product. In against Crystal Palace, it was disappearing act plus no product. So it is raised a concern for those who still have Darwin. But yep, no, never not to worry. We know who our next matchup is, which might help. So we'll see. We'll get
Okay,
there.
regardless, man, Liverpool can I say is still not at the top of their performance yet this season, but they're already on top of the league. I think that's the most important thing. And with the likes of Arsenal, Villa, and Man City, who surprisingly has struggled so far at fourth place, but we know he is far from over, right, in terms of league title.
That yeah, that part hasn't sunk in yet. The fact that we're at the top, but it goes to show that how tight the league is this season. We only separated by a few points. First to fourth is really not that far away. So it promises to be an interesting season. And this season, of course, we a lot that's been talked about is the AFCON, the Asia Cup. All gonna get in the way, which will more often than not will impact on how the season pans out and how the matches come up.
Yeah, those turbulence will come soon enough. But we first face the blank game week 18 just around the corner. But we should actually focus like always the managers of the Pep, the last crop, when asked by journalists when talking about the long term, they say, okay, my focus is actually the next match, which is the next game week. So our focus should be the game week 17 first. But just take a look in terms
Yeah.
of what we're going to discuss for this pod. I mean, we look at how we perform in game week 16 for sure. Look at some stats as teams of the week, captaincy, and so on. We do need to discuss on potential Haaland injury that we need to replace with someone. Even though we can discuss, there is latest news from Pep in terms of how, in terms of Haaland situation right now, but we can
Yep.
discuss on that. We talk about the suspension list in Game Week 17. There's a lot we can see players suspended this week for sure. Some premium players, some important players into our squad, and at the same time we can talk about injury, right? With the likes of Racy James coming in, maybe because Racy James is in your team later, so you can discuss on that. The game week 17 fixture for sure, the captain pick, and our transfer plan for this week. So let's jump straight first to your to my team first. All right. So
Yep.
my team So actually, I scored 61 points. The average point is actually 40 points. So it has been a good week for sure. My rank increased from 390,000 to 252,000. Continue to get that green road. I think that's the most important thing. And you can see there's some weaknesses in my team for sure in terms of goalkeeper department because some already jumped into Dubravka for sure. Even last week, I saw some FPL content creator like Andy even took a -4 to bring in Dubravka. Maybe that could be the right decision, but I actually reluctant to take any hit so far in terms of goalkeeper. But Ariola also is a
Hey, hey,
concern. Is a concern for this week, and we shall see how he perform because his ligament damage at his wrist. So maybe the potential a long lay. But if that's still the situation, I have might need to take some action on that. Other than that, yeah, without Arela, I only play 10 players in Game Week 16. With the rest of Gabriel Simikas, only 2 points. What else can I say? Maybe Petro Poro, the one that I actually brought in Game Week 16. Two free transfer. I took Poro in, and also I think is it Gordon? Yeah, I
yes.
think yeah, two transfer I did bring in, and then yeah, I think because of Bomo injury, Poro is someone that people already start to discuss. Even I saw some like Big Man Bakar says that in terms of stat, can I say I'm a bit unlucky to not get that clean sheet. You also have Poro, mean right? So there's a bit heartbreaking for us. But 5 points, I won't actually complain because he's continued to tick. I think that is 3 assists in 4 matches or something like that. So Poro continue to tick and his priority risen to 5.4 million right now, and people are looking really to get him in this week. Spurs have some decent fixture coming up. Salah, I'm gonna say right now, can say I'm lucky lah to get Salah as my vice captain, but more or less Haaland and Salah kept basically if you're captaining Haaland and vice captain Salah, so it's like getting those Salah points. But whoever captain Salah like you, maybe you bought somewhere in your heart feels that maybe you should actually get paid off somewhere there because Haaland captain is really blank against Town, right? So, but 26 points is what it is, and I got lucky with that for sure. Palmer only 1 points, disappointing against Everton. I think Sun. I think the one that people are going to talk about the explosiveness. I mean, you brought Sun in your wildcard team, so pretty much I think he can. Can I say his status now could be essential with the likes of Salah and Haaland. The next one, he could be the third one that need to be in our team moving forward. But regardless of the Asian Cup coming in, but for now he's important. Saka 2 points. Arsenal had disappointed against Aston Villa, and Gordon only 2 points. But he could actually get an assist for that Isaac goal who intervened by Ben Davies. Okay, but I wouldn't say because it is also a tough match away to Spurs. Haaland not playing and Archer coming in for 2 points. No complaint there. I suppose at least 2 points, but Watkins 2 points. But my Brentford 5 points are staring at me. You should have trust me, Hafiz, and bro, get him in my team. Yeah, that's my team, man.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, I mean, just I'll pick up on that last point quickly. Yeah, Everton are definitely suddenly keeping clean sheets regularly, and Pickford, who, if you remember, was in quite a lot of our teams at the start of the season, and now that pretty much evacuated from all of our teams, it's one clean sheet after another. What is it, 3, 4 now?
Yes,
Can't
yes,
remember. I'll have
yes,
to check. But yeah, but that's FPL for you, and that's the Premier League for you. So it's clear that Sean Dyche has definitely galvanized the team, and whether or not to be fair, they had been playing well even before they got docked at 10
yes,
point
for sure.
suspension, but it certainly seems to have made them even more motivated. So yeah, so well done. But it's definitely gives you that dilemma to look at the, for your for your team moving forward as to whom to bench. So anyway, yeah. So the Salah Haaland thing, yeah, I'll talk about that because it's already on my side. So, but yeah, that means Archer came in for you. Unfortunately, Archer didn't score much, and the thing is that we are seeing signs of life from Sheffield, aren't we? So they defeated uh, Brentford
Brentford.
one Brentford by 1 goal, and previously they um,
They lost
managed to
2-0
fight.
to Liverpool. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, but it was a tough fight, and we got lucky as well. Liverpool, I'm not going to deny that. So coming back to your defense, so Arsenal again contriving to lose their clean sheet, and unfortunately your Saka blanking, it's definitely something of, don't you think it's a bit of a concern? Maybe not now. You'll still probably hang on to it, but definitely need some reassessing. But there's no denying that Arsenal are still up there, and
Yeah.
in terms of stats for the season, they still have one of the stronger defensive stats in the league.
Yeah.
With Simicas, it's a case of looking to see how Klopp plays him. Definitely, you'll want to look at Thursday night to see what happens, who gets fielded there, because at the moment Liverpool have already qualified for the next stage. So if you suddenly see Simicas there at the starting
Okay.
lineup, it might be a cause for concern for you. So
I
definitely
hope
something to look.
Klopp will play Chambers. Is it the left back for Liverpool?
Um,
Is it?
it was well Gomez who has been the name, but I don't know. We'll see what.
Okay.
I mean, for all you know, he may feel some youngsters because he can do it.
Yep.
Yeah. So Pedro Porro, I'm glad you picked him up early because I have been listening to a few pods in the past couple of days, and 50% of them are all talking of the time they're talking about bringing in Pedro Porro. One for those who had Reece James, one another
Mm.
for those who are who need to deal with the Trippier suspension and are worried. So Pedro Porro has really jumped into the
Yep.
camera for most FPL managers. So I'm glad because I picked him up on my wild card. No,
Mm.
actually no, I had him even before my wild card.
Oh,
So
yes, yes, yes,
I've
yes,
had him
yes, yes.
before. But you picked him up last week, and now there's so much attention going on. So
Yep.
well done on
Yep.
going early. Still early than
Yep.
the rest of the pack.
All right. Okay. Good stuff, man. Let's go to your team. You scored 59 points, and your rank for sure. Rank increased from 3.4 to 2.6 million, man. So can you walk through it?
Yeah, so as you know, as viewers know, I rolled over. I did not land any transfers. So I start with Dubravka, who I did not start Dubravka. I started with Kelleher.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, we found then turns out Alisson was fit. As a result, Dubravka got subbed in. So it was a bit of a worry there, but in the end, 2 points is more than I can, no reason to get too upset about it, especially in this current season. So anything, I mean, the week before, Kelleher got me 6 points. It's like
Yep.
almost like a bonus.
Yep.
So TAA did not keep a clean sheet, but still, to showcase his involvement in the
You got two
build,
bonus points.
yeah, he still ended up with 2 bonus points without any assists or goal to his name. So that's definitely something I'd like. Reece James, well, I reap what I sowed, and it's a risk I always knew would happen. But I, when I look in hindsight, I'm trying to wonder, was I really convinced that? Because I think I was convinced that Pochettino had figured out how to manage so that he'd avoid these injuries. But now I'm starting to wonder whether the injuries are something that will never he can never really recover from. I'm starting to wonder. So if you remember at the start of the season, I was saying, okay, my policy for this season is I'm going to go with players who are sure starters, less of injury risk, and then on a wild card, and I bring in James to get my five at the back thing. So anyway, no worries. That's a one problem that I'll have to deal with. Okay, second is the Trippier thing. Again, when I brought him on the wild card, I knew that he was already a potential risk, so he would get suspended at some point. It's very frustrating because watching the Newcastle match, and it was clear he was tired. Okay, And at the time, I was hoping that he would get subbed off before he gets his fifth yellow
Yeah.
card. But Eddie Howe keeps him on as how he is wont to do, and Trippier ended up getting his fifth yellow card and was subbed like 2 minutes after he got the card. So it was very frustrating to watch and see what happened. So yeah, but it is what it is, and because I did wild card, so I do have the squad to back up for the absences. Uh, Pedro Porro, yep. So you say that you mentioned that you got 5 points because of the assist, but then before that, on a clean sheet, you also had bonus points to his name. So it's quite a significant drop in terms of the points that Pedro Porro dropped. So I felt that if we had, considering we both had him, and it seems like there's a mass wave of
Yeah.
Porro purchases now. You wonder, even with the current increase in rank we both had, I do wonder, speculate how much more we would have increased if if Spurs had kept a clean sheet. So another one is Zinchenko. Continues to disappoint since the wild card. He hasn't done much, but I think that's more to do with Arsenal's overall performance rather than Zinchenko's contributions. But I'm still awaiting on his attacking contribution. Uh, so Son, the one of the main reasons I wildcarded was Son, and to a secondary note was TAA. So Son came up with the goods, and if those who dared to captain him against a tired Newcastle paid off. So a bit of extra
Yeah.
analysis where we needed there. Um, so Salah again, coming back to what I mentioned earlier, I had always captained him because I felt that he would score more than Haaland. And for the first 70 minutes of against Crystal Palace, I thought I was being proven wrong. I was like, oh crap, have I screwed up this time? But we know how the events unfold, and I went through this roller coaster of emotions, panicking, and then relieved, and then he, uh, worried about Haaland's points, and then suddenly finding out that he's out. It's like, okay lah. So we will never know how
Yeah.
Haaland could have scored that. So the point is moot. So yeah, Palmer disappointed, Mope disappointed. So Mope could have been a mistake. I'm not sure because Brentford are looking a bit dodgy at the moment. Semenyo is the person who came in for Haaland. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
only 1 point. So just a quick one on the bench. If you notice, I Clevert, who's also a Bournemouth player. Uh, Gordon, because I was so certain that he's going to be knackered, he's not going to be able to against Spurs, that I was willing to put him on the second bench and not the first. Turns out it was wrong, but then it's only 1 point difference lah. Yeah, but
Okay, okay.
I knew that risk I took because based on Newcastle, I really felt nothing's gonna happen. But Trippier's there anyway. I didn't feel like
Double up.
playing two Newcastle assets against a Spurs that was looking to explode because they would be so frustrated in the past few matches.
All right. I just want to point out,
Yep,
Spurs got his first penalty against Newcastle. I think Gameweek 60 is his penalty, and we are now clear that Son is the penalty taker. Although at that point Richardson already sub off, so maybe if Richardson on the pitch, then we can confirm whether he's the one or Son gonna take penalty. Before that, James Madison is the speculation that gonna take penalty, but for now, Son is the one. But maybe when he leave for the Asian Cup, it's gonna be a question mark again. Uh, if Madison already fit at that point, it's just between Madison and Richardson, I suppose, for that point. So that's at least answered the question that people are asking whether Son is the penalty taker. At least for now, he's the one that took that penalty.
yep,
Other than that, I can't complain about James, right? I could actually jump into that bandwagon at one point that people trying to figure with getting James, and Chelsea are having a nice run of fixture right now. So they definitely, if you do want to, if you want to go more than Palmer, then that could be another. But with that news saying the opportunity mentioned that I did share with you, the hamstring injury, that
yep.
could
Three
be
months.
another lay off, right? So I don't think you should touch James for sure. I'm not sure about touching any Chelsea defender. I'm not sure whether I'm going to recommend that
Well,
anyway.
well,
Hmm.
Reece James understudy Gusto is apparently back in trading, so
Oh,
I've
okay.
heard an option for cheapy if you need funds to spare somewhere. But I think that most teams have big.
Min, you're on mute.
Sorry. Yeah. So we have Gusto coming back. He was already
Yeah.
featured in training, so
Okay.
definitely an option as because he's so cheap. But I do know that before he got injured, he and in the absence of James, the one match he even though he was available, Cucurella played on the right instead with Colwill on the left. So it remains to be seen whether he can go back immediately into a starting lineup. So you probably want to hold or at least get some info first before you
Yeah. I
take a
think another
gamble on him.
another potential right now, if the thing is right, that Sanchez also injured during that game, and that could be another option. Taking people for Chelsea, Petrovic is, I'm suppose, I'm not sure how much price.
It's probably
Is it
reason to stay away from Chelsea.
4.08? That's if you want to go. Let me
Too
check
much
his.
disruption. Yeah. Let's
I
see. Let's see.
think
Never mind. We can cover it later.
uh, is it 4.5 or 4.0? 4.5. Okay, okay, all right. So it's
4.5.
not like cheap. G Petrovic. Okay. Other than that, man, you have the most important. You've got two free transfer. Yeah, you can actually distribute James one to somewhere if you feel you want to improve somewhere, right? So I think that's
Yeah.
another opportunity. Okay,
Yep.
we
That's right.
we, we, we touch it on what our plan later. Quickly on the captaincy, main FPL stat for game week 16. As we all know, Haaland blank because he did not play. 6.6 million managers captain him, but Salah is the one. After that, 1.5 million. Congrats, like you mean 13 points, but the real winner is actually Son, 17 points. So if you actually captain Haaland and vice captain Son, so you
Yep.
got that Son point. And if you can see there, who did Haaland Becker's vice captain? Most of them, like myself, Haaland and Salah as my vice captain. 2 million manager got that 13 points. But the next one, 800,000 managers, captains, the vice captain Saka, who only rewarded by only 2 points, but 427,000 managers did captain, did vice captain Son and got that 17 points. The rest, I'm surprised Edison is there as the fourth vice captain after Haaland. I'm surprised with that decision. But Watkins, yep, but it's against Arsenal, right? So, what do you think, Min?
Look,
Can I say the
I
the
gotta
the
give
Haaland? Uh,
no, I gotta give credit to those who captain Sun. Okay, well done. That's about 200,000 of you. So that's 17 points. You got the right captaincy, and because he was fourth most popular captaincy pick. So he wasn't, you weren't acting as a lone ranger to captain him. So well done. So it was just a case of expecting Sun to explode at the moment because we saw the possibility of that happening, but at the same time, maybe quite a few of us, including myself, chickened out simply because they were playing Newcastle. So
yeah,
Newcastle, who by history they've had a good defense for most stretches of the season so far. So for those who did take that, well done.
yep, studio. I mean, I just want to say because the Haaland captain just like myself, yeah, it's not being punished. If let's say Haaland play and got only 2 points, it can easily be that. And Haaland captain who actually deserve to get that 13 points, right?
Yep.
But it is what it is. So I think the Haaland should not like belagak this week and getting that 13 points because we are lucky to get that 13 points, to be frank, because they could
Yeah.
easily hide after that, but it could be
Look,
more. We just won't know. We just won't know,
look,
right?
look. The worst case situation if he turned up on the bench and came on to get him back fit. So just glad that didn't happen. So well done. Good stuff.
Okay, team of the week for sure. Asan is the top performer for this 120 points. The total of game week 16 team scored 131 points overall, double-digit points everywhere except the front line, Raul and Cunha, and also Udogi. But I just want to touch about Raul, man, because that they come in Fulham has been scoring like, is it like 16 goals for the past 3 games or 4 games? And we know the potential of Raheem Jimenez. He could actually on radar right now, 5.2 million. It could be cheaply upfront, and Fulham has been performing because we have also another one, Tosin, with 14 points at the back line for Fulham. You mentioned about Pickford, 10 points there, man. I think Martinez also scored 10 points, if I'm right. So those are the goalkeeper for this week. Yeah, uh, how much more I want to say about Pickford when we have him. Yeah, he produced lousy, but when we do not have him, we got scored at 10 points. So, I mean, are we going to go back to him? I'm not too sure because blessed with Dubravka, right? 4 million plus. I know I'm not sure about Aurora right now. If you have the potential, I think Dubravka is the one. But if you want to go different, maybe Martinez, maybe Leno. People forgot about him, 4.7 million. So there's some decision that we need to make. Other
Yeah.
than that, it would be a triple up Spurs with Poro there, but it's actually Son. Charleston 15 points. He's got 2 goals. I think he got that 3 points also. Udogi could actually got a bigger points, right? I mean, if Spurs kept the clean.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
can you imagine back there? Other than that, Salah, if you have the owner of Adringra, if you still having 10 points, good job for you. The career, I'm not sure people are going there. But those are the team for the week, man. So what interests you?
Well, definitely Doucouré, even though Everton. So he's proving to be quite the important goal scorer for Everton, and not Beto or DCL up front. Doucouré seems to be one who's getting in the good positions and in positions to score. So of course, but the problem we have, of course, is that our midfield is already so congested enough as it is to have another option. So it's definitely you have to decide who you want to sacrifice if you want to bring Doucouré. At the same time, Adingra is still an option, is still in quite a few teams anyway because he seems to have been. I think we mentioned this last week that he's the ever present for Brighton with all the chaotic upheaval, Mitoma la, Gross la, Ferguson, Pedro, all being rotated rather ferociously, I would say, by De Zerbi, uh, in the Premier League. But Adingra has started for
Yeah,
most
I mean,
matches. Yeah,
yeah, I think I just want to talk about Indegra you didn't mention there because after that Solly injury, he has been playing from game week 11 up to now, like consistently 90 minutes, except 2 match, 83
yeah,
minutes Brentford and the 89 minutes, but mostly 80 minutes. But I just want to mention, Mitoma got benched against Burnley, so it's another surprise because yeah, I know Brighton have plenty, but Mitoma should be the mainstay. But now without him playing that game, I am unlikely to go back to Mitoma, I suppose.
yeah. See, the problem is because we Brighton have a Europe match tomorrow night, and it's a do or die one, isn't it? And you would think that that's probably one of the reasons why, because the Zerbi is trying to get over the hurdle for Brighton and get and hence starting Mitoma for the Europa match. So I fully expect Mitoma to start for that. Um, One reason why you should also probably avoid Mitoma at least for the time being is that he is going for the Asia Cup, isn't he? So
Yeah.
so that just pretty much rules him out. Yeah. Just quick touch on Richarlison. Again, the problem with Richarlison is that he's in that congested midfield. Yeah. So Cunha, the less popular option over Huang, but that's slowly making his mark felt. But then his pricing is about the same, about I think it was 5.7 or 5.8. Yeah, so Raul might be a better option. So Fulham are the are going to face Newcastle, who will have probably who play Milan tonight and
Mhm.
already stretched with a stretch squad as it is. So yeah, picking up Raul might not be a bad idea against a a probably extremely tired Newcastle who might even miss Dubravka if the latest news turns out true. So yeah,
Okay.
let's take a
Yeah,
look at that.
we shall see. Very interest to see the Newcastle who going to perform. Uh, yeah, Champions League, and another one Man City. Okay, well, but likely Haaland to feature, but we shall see. Quickly take a look, on the stats after game week 16 in terms of attacks and defense. This is for team, yeah, not for players.
Yep.
SG expected goals. Liverpool are on the top. Okay, after game week 16 with 32.63. But mainly we expect Liverpool and Man City up there. They are top three, but Newcastle at second place. Yep, 36 goals, 33 goals, 38 goals. Those are the team. But Chelsea on fourth. Yes, SG could be high or on top four, but their goals are not that much. 26. So I'm not sure about Chelsea, but those are the stats right now. After that, you can see about Arsenal also, why Arsenal are not scoring that much of goals, right? Because expected goals, they are 6 or 7 there, right? So
Yeah.
it's not at the top two or top three there. So uh, that's for Arsenal position. After that, Villa, right? On the defense, Arsenal are the top. Like you mentioned, SG considered they are the best defense. Okay, and goal conceded actually they are the lowest. Share with Liverpool. I'm impressed with that, man. So Liverpool also decent defense. Even though people talk about potentially Liverpool has struggling in defense. Matip injured, right? So Konate coming in, I'm not sure, right? Konate, and then TAA, Gomez, Simicas, Robertson also injured, so that's potential in terms of distracting Liverpool defense. But that Everton in top five, so it is clearly mentioned that Everton are improving in terms of goals. They only got 20 goals so far. I think they keep consecutive shutout. That's why they have the clean sheet there.
Ye-
So yeah, that's the stats for now, mate.
Yeah, so the thing with Arsenal and really good um what do you call defensive stats, the problem is that in terms of clean sheet, they haven't kept a clean sheet for 3 weeks, 3 game weeks, I should say. So this whole congested period of three, they did not keep a single clean sheet, and which is why a lot of double Arsenal defender teams were frustrated. And in terms of the attack, to be fair, they still at six, which I think is still quite good, and they're just above Villa, who many are banking on Watkins to come with the goods. So although I would be surprised that after all that, Brighton is still there in the mix at what number is that? 8.
Yep.
So again, the problem, they haven't scored enough. So even the last one was a draw, 1-1. Yeah, but in terms of investment, yeah, you can see why Liverpool surprisingly is up top. But I would say Liverpool is up top because the likes of City have faltered a bit, and while Arsenal seem to be moving more into control mode, at least that's what I felt they were doing. So concentrating more on the defensive side of the game. So and it they're clearly under a bit of challenge right now, Arsenal. So we remains to be seen whether they can up back their stats. So we'll have to keep a watch out for that.
Right. In terms of teams to target, uh, for taking in terms of defense, the worst defense is still Luton Town, Sheffield United, but West Ham is in the bottom three and now. They lost 5-0 against Fulham away. It could be an alarming. People suddenly talk about Moyes' job uh, in doubt or in danger. I'm not too sure what that means. So, what do you think, about West Ham defense?
The thing is, we've always known West Ham's defense has been quite atrocious this season, and of course, like, it didn't stop people from going for Areola simply because he's cheap. The West Ham questions are being asked, I guess. So West Ham will face Wolves next.
Hmm.
But West Ham will be at home. So West Ham definitely need to pick up, because at the end of the day, what will surprise most people, despite the defensive frailties, West Ham are still at the top half of the table. They're like at number 9 or 10, I think it was. So it's a case of, will they score enough goals to overcome the defensive issues?
Yeah. So if people jump to Bowen last week, they've been frustrated because Bowen did not did anything. Another one, people jump to Huang for replacement Bomo, nothing also there, and also Gordon, who actually also only two points. So those are the disappointment. Unless you go the likes with, I'm not sure whether you go, even you go to Palmer only got 1 point. So that's the situation right now. So you just need to be
You could you
uh
could you could argue that it's, the one thing to look at is the failure of the mids this week. Aside from
mhm.
the power of Salah and Son, the expected power of Salah Son, but all the you know second tier backups, Huang, Bowen, Palmer, Gordon,
Fair,
all
fair.
just, or even most of the City players as well. We didn't get
Yeah.
Arsenal. So the who scored? Havertz and Jesus scored, right? So it's but they're not the popular picks at the moment. So it's the popular picks that all faltered.
Okay, man. Let's now to the talking points. The most hot topic for this week is about Haaland, man. I know there's later news, but I just read out in terms of comment from Pep. He mentioned about Erling Haaland's injury. We don't know when he return. It's his foot. We'll see day by day, week by week. Hopefully, we can recover him for the Club World Cup. So we can see that the focus of Pep is actually not the match, the Premier League match. He wants Haaland to be ready for the World Club Cup. And then you can see in terms of Man City fixture snapshot, to have a look on the fixture because they play Red Star Belgrade this tonight, but
Right.
it's a derby match, right? It's not something that people our Man City going to target. They can just play
Yep.
youngsters for this game. But on Saturday they play to at home against Crystal Palace. Maybe that match that people want to think whether Haaland should play that game because after that they have to fly and play for the Club World Cup, which is, if I may read out, they actually straight away qualify for the semi-final, okay, of which City are expected to face the opponent were the Club Leon or Urawa Reds, the Japanese or the Mexican sides for that semi-final. And if they win that match, they will need to play on 22nd or maybe 23rd December for the final against if they win that games against the Brazilian side Fluminense or Al Ahly from Egypt. So I guess the 22nd and then the gap there 28 December they need to come back and against away to Everton, which is, as you know, Everton are on form. At home they are a different monster, and then close up 2 days after that with Sheffield United at home. So main latest, we can see that Pep wants to see and assess Haaland. They expected Haaland to come back training on Thursday. So we shall see whether that will be. But do you think that Pep gonna risk him or play him against Palace this week, man?
Okay, here's the problem. The problem is that City have not been recording the results that they would have liked. And Alvarez himself has not exactly been in stellar form himself. So I would think that Haaland, if he is able to play this weekend, he'll play. Yeah. So whether or not he will play, I'm not sure. Now, so the question is, what if he's not ready, and what do you do? So we have a lot of options being bandied about. Obviously, one of the biggest ones is Solanke. Yeah, definitely being hyped out with Bournemouth recording, I think uh, five wins and one draw or something, or 5 wins and one loss. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly, but something like that. So Bournemouth are definitely looking up at the moment, and other options are, of course, Alvarez. But of course, if you pick up Alvarez, just have to bear in mind again, you will blank the following week. But Alvarez City do play against Palace, who are looking dodgy every day. Except, well, last week they did put out a fight against Liverpool, but in this match they'll be playing at City. So you'd
Wait,
accept Liverpool.
before you continue, maybe I just straight we go to the slide of which potential replacement, the two fixture, 17,
Mm,
18 people want to jump in if let's say Haaland miss 17 because they're not going to play on Gameweek 18 for sure, Man
yep,
City. And in terms of top ticker, you can see the likes of Chelsea have decent fixture. You did mention about Solanke, Bournemouth have decent fixture, mean Luton Town at home and then away to Forest. I think that's
yep,
why people are interested on that.
yep. So the other options are okay, a Fulham, Raul Jimenez, who will play a Newcastle, who will be knackered because it's a do or die situation for them tonight. So, but of course, it's at St James Park, so you have to take that into account. But bearing in mind Fulham, they managed to put three past Liverpool the other day, and now
Mm.
5-0 against Forest. So definitely, there's a lot of potential there. I'll just quickly run through. That's is that Nicholas Jackson? So I'll take him off the. I'll take him off that. Chelsea just nowhere. Isaac, I'll take him off as well because it might be exhausted. Plus Wilson might be ready, so he's gonna have to share those minutes with Wilson again. And Darwin, some of people who still have him. So and now those people who don't, are they looking to bring him in? So is it viable? We don't know. See how Liverpool play tomorrow night, how they stack up. But people want to bring in Darwin because of his previous stats and the fact that there's a lot of memories of the 7-0 trebling that Liverpool gave Manchester United not too long ago. So they feel like your FOMO kind of thing. Don't want to miss out on the expected trophy because we know after last night Manchester United has more injuries now. Even Maguire's out, and we
Mhm.
also know Bruno Fernandes is suspended, which we'll talk about later. But the impact on Manchester United, it's a lot of disruption. You would expect Rashford to come in, which could actually be good for Liverpool. We don't know, but of course it's a high profile match. So, but Liverpool do play at home at Anfield, so it's So will Darwin recover back from last weekend's debacle, or will he be back to that chaos incarnate person? It's a gamble, really. So I'm not sure if you want to go there, even though you expect Manchester United to falter. I'm not sure Darwin might be the right pick.
Mean, I just put a different context for now. If let's say, okay, we just assume Haaland are not ready for game week 17, and people are thinking about replacement. If someone have Darwin in his team, say Haaland and Darwin, say could be the front two. So Darwin, is a case whether if you do not have Darwin, if you're thinking about getting Darwin in, the fixture for Liverpool is actually Manchester United and Arsenal for the next two. I think
Yep.
if you have him in your team right now, I think you keep him, okay? Because yes, again Manchester United, maybe if you think about rotation risks and so on, he still can be chaotic and explosive if you got the
Yep.
at the right time. If you already hold him for a long time, right, man? If you do not wildcard, for sure
Yep.
you will hold him until the game week 90. If you still have wildcard, you can just dead in your team, right? But it's not the situation right now.
Okay, definitely if you have Darwin, you should still hang on to him. There's no reason not to. At least, you know, depending on what happens tomorrow night, then you can reassess again. But one thing to remember, yes, Darwin looked out of it. Spent more time offside last weekend. But remember that last week was the three matches in the space of 8 days kind of thing. So, although obviously Darwin didn't start the midweek match, but he started the both weekends match. But most of the Liverpool squad did start. So and we know that it wasn't just Darwin who was off. Most of the players were off as well. So it contributed to the lack of productivity by Darwin. So definitely something to consider, that Darwin could very well be back to his best this weekend.
Okay. I just want to mention also, if you do not have Watkins yet, he could be the primary striker that you should get on first before any one of these. It could be because you don't have Watkins. Potentially Watkins could be uh, the potential captaincy for game week 18 because Liverpool are playing Arsenal. Unless you trust Salah to play there, it could be. But Villa play Sheffield United at home, and people are talking about he could be a captain potential in game week 18. So I feel if you do not have Watkins yet, it could be the one for you to get first before the likes of Solanke, the likes of Darwin. Min, what do you think? Are you on me?
So now what? Aston Villa will face Brentford. Okay, Aston Villa also have a Europa match tomorrow night, but then they are top of the table, so I don't think it's a big concern for them, unlike Brighton and Newcastle. But we need to assess whether that Brentford match is going to be a pushover, because Aston Villa, we know they um, statistically for the season they've not been great away from home. So whether it's a potential but Brentford haven't been good either. So we need to
Mm.
see, are certain players from Brentford back from injury, like Jensen, who's quite important to the cause, and Bournemouth is of course out. But if Norgard is back, and if Ayer comes back as well, then maybe Brentford can do better, especially because they're at home. At the same time, with Watkins, there's a bit of over confidence, I should say, with captaining, like locking in Watkins as a captain for game week 18. Because my question is, are we underestimating Sheffield's United's resurgence? We know, yeah, we've seen a slow resurgence coming in, and let's say Sheffield United get a result against Chelsea this
Yep,
weekend. Does that make does that cast doubt on Watkins as a
for sure,
captain against Sheffield? And
for sure.
yeah, so but of course Villa are playing at home in game week 18. So Villa at home are much better. But I just wanted to throw it out there to
Yep.
is he a certain captaincy lock?
Yeah, that's the conversation right now. But we can discuss again in game 18. I think the likes of what I think if you ask me right now, because we
Yep,
did discuss offline, mean who
yep,
be the replacement because I already have Watkins and I have to
yep,
replace Haaland. I
yep.
feel Solanke could be the one that surprisingly I will not. I haven't talked about him. I'm
Mm.
never gonna think about Solanke into my thinking. He could actually come at the right time now, and those fixtures are very enticing.
Well,
So
yeah.
and
That's
Bournemouth already proved they are different right now. They won against Manchester United at home at the turf. So I think
any
that's different, really different. So
any
Bournemouth are
any other
playing.
any other possible candidates? Maybe Gabriel Jesus as a replacement. What do you think?
I don't trust Arsenal because Arsenal when they score, there is not one specific talisman that can score. Yes, Saka, but most of them are sharings. Attacker returns. It could be someone get an assist. You can see that. Is it 4-3 wins against Luton? Everyone share. Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Jesus, or maybe Jesus got one goal, one assist, right? But he's still not certain because Nketiah is still there. Dia wins, but I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure about Jesus.
If Richarlison was still classified as a forward, we might have a conversation there.
I
But
think
he's
I
not.
think
He's
so.
a midfielder.
I think another conversation people can talk about is you mentioned Raul Jimenez. Yes, tough away to Newcastle, but game week 18 is against Burnley, and we know Burnley are not a team that still there yet. There could be another final drubbing there against Burnley. So I think it's and Raul 5.2. He could be, if you have money, could be your third striker option, and you can easily bench him. Uh, yeah, if you don't want him later. But yeah, those are the options. Other than that, I'm not too sure I'm gonna go Darwin maybe a few weeks before this, maybe. But getting in Darwin right now, I'm not too sure. Okay,
Yep.
man. All right. What else? Okay, this is just only stats to back us up in terms of last
Yep.
six game week. Darwin is up there, but is sharing Solanke in terms of goal attempts mean 22. So in terms of stats, Solanke are there. That's why we talk about him.
Yeah, so yeah, Nunes tops that table in terms of attempts, but together with Solanke. So in terms of attempts at goal, it's 22 shots. So Nunes isn't shy of taking those shots, but it's just been frustrating, when he hits the post or so close, So well, it's a risk. Unfortunately, that option is closed for myself because I unfortunately I got Kelleher blocking my third Liverpool spot. Yeah, so that's not an option for now. Uh, yeah, so you got yeah, it's a bit tough. So yeah, not that aside from the options we talked about just now, there really isn't others unless you restructure your team and
Mm-hmm.
and and invest in somewhere else instead. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Man, let's talk about suspension. I think that's also a good talking points. You did mention about the list, man. Can you just walk through this?
Yeah. So quite a few managers out there got caught up by Trippier and Taylor getting suspended at the same time, which really is a big problem for quite a few teams. I think we this this game week we could actually see quite a few hits for teams that aren't prepared or have a very shallow bench. So Digne, Douglas Lewis, two Aston Villa um, mainstays for the season so far. They pretty much played almost pretty much every game, Digne and Douglas Lewis, but now they are both suspended, which also makes me question: will Aston Villa be at their very best against Brentford this weekend? Bruno Fernandes, um, you know, you play Liverpool next week, so I just don't,
He will
have
be frustrated getting that late yellow card for sure.
yeah. So it's very unfortunately for you. Brentwick got yellow carded, so he's out as an option for this time around. Yeah,
You
so
can
the
see
rest are
later.
not. Yeah, so the rest aren't don't really have. Guay is for Everton, so also Everton's you also quite a key member of late. Unlike Brentford, it was pretty much played every match. Guay only came in. I think he's played a few weeks, but he's done well since he came in. Um, so I don't know whether or not that will impact Everton. So on the close to suspension list, so this is where it gets interesting. So you got Palmer, who's suddenly on his fourth card. You think he's so unassuming, and then suddenly, suddenly he's on four yellow cards. The
Yeah.
the thing with Palmer though is because as far as midfielders go, mainstay he is not expensive, so you don't the pain isn't gonna feel that much if he gets suspended because
We
it's not
just
like
hope he will not get any yellow card this game week, because if not, the blank game week he will be suspended, and we don't want that, right?
yeah, because we already short on
Mm.
well, only Haaland actually. With if you don't have any Brentford, but still, you want your best players to be available.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
so other than that, Huang Hee-chan continues to hang on to his fourth yellow and avoiding. Importantly, Lascelles has four yellows. I know quite a few teams have him, and that's also a problem as well. Cash, well, people who have him stick him on the bench anyway, so it's no big deal. Well, I suspect he will play tomorrow night, in Europe because he's pretty much out now. Maybe it gives him a chance to regain his form. Having said that, it'll be interesting if he does stand out. It might give him a chance to get back into the Premier League team. Other than that, other thing to point out, Udogi, who's definitely still in quite a few teams, and also dangerously close to suspension, will affect a few Premier League teams. One other person, okay, Doucouré, we also mentioned just now, but Senesi, who's currently in the spotlight, two double-digit back-to-back uh, for Bournemouth, but at the same time, he's on fourth yellow card. The thing
Oh,
is, it's it's not a big deal if you want to bring him in because he's only 4.3. Yeah. So if your squad is stable
I
enough
think it's
for
already
game week 18,
4.4.
4.4 now. Okay, so sorry, it's gone up. So if your team is stable enough that you can place blank game week 18 and don't have to deal with absence, you don't have other because chances are most teams may have Palmer. So if you bring in Senesi now, that's two players who are at risk of getting a game week 17, get fifth yellow card, game week 18 suspended. So is that how you want to go? You need to consider that. So find out check your status of your team, who's on your yellow card. Are you going to risk who's on 4 yellow cards? Do you want to risk bringing in other people who are also on 4 yellow cards, such as Doucouré, Senesi, and for those who still don't have Palmer? Yeah, because what makes Palmer interesting, especially for those who don't believe in the Sheffield United resurgence, is Palmer plays Sheffield United this weekend. So
Mhm.
definitely it'll be in the under consideration for those who don't have Palmer. So but you really have to look at the situation of your team before you risk bringing in any of these people who are on 4 yellow cards.
Man, I just want to touch about Trippier, man. You have him.
Yep.
Trippier get his fifth yellow card and he's going to miss this game.
Yep.
What do you think, mean? Because the transfer traffic right now, Trippier is the most transfer out.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you feel that the managers are doing a knee jerk, so sudden, and maybe you should just bench him and play Yoni? But it could be a situation because I saw some team like FPL Raptor have Trippier, have Reece James, have Charlie Taylor, right? So there is a concern. Maybe they have to react for this just to play out 11 players for this game with 17, man.
Yeah, but in that case, you still have James. You can sell James. Fine. James is a confirm out. The thing with Trippier is that because he gets suspended, he will be fresh for the next game because Newcastle are exhausted, and Newcastle will play tonight, and Trippier will be involved. But this weekend he gets the day off, and chances are he won't play. Are they still involved in the EFL?
Yeah,
I'm
he's
sorry.
going to play Chelsea.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I don't know whether he'll play that one. So we'll see. It is against Chelsea. That's gonna be interesting. Yeah, but the fact that he does get the weekend off will help him to recover. So for me, I can't see why you would sell Trippier unless you are really desperate for funds because Trippier isn't cheap either. Because you sell Charlie Taylor, it won't get you a lot. So yeah. So if your squad can handle it, because like myself, I can. So I'll keep Trippier. I don't care if his price will drop. It's not a big deal for me.
Yeah, understand. I think my feeling is keep him unless I'm not too sure the situation. Unless you have like the Trippier, you have Brentford, you have Charlie Taylor like me, and then you can only field two defender.
I was
But
yeah, I
if
was
that is also you just field two defenders, what do you think?
yeah, I think yeah, just feel too. So for me the Trippier knee-jerk or sell off is also because he did get a negative score. So
Okay, yeah, that's
that
another one. That's why
that
people
was
react.
def-
I think.
exactly that's the reason why some people just no, I cannot do this. You know, you know. So but for me I would have kept if my squad was okay.
All right, man. Those are the suspension lists. We'll discuss again on that. Let's jump to Gavin 17 fixture, man. Just take a look what the fixture will be. It will be Friday deadline, man, because the first match, Forest versus Spurs, will be at 4 a.m. on Friday night. And then on Saturday, we have four matches at 11 p.m. Malaysian time. Bournemouth versus Luton. We talked about that already. Solanke is on the spotlight for that match. We have Chelsea versus Sheffield United. Sheffield United on the resurgence, but Chelsea are on the downwards, getting lost against Everton 2-0 last time. We shall see whether Chelsea can come back from this poor result. We have Man City versus Crystal Palace. All spoiler also on Haaland. If not, Haaland would feature in this match against depleted Crystal Palace. And then we have Newcastle versus Fulham. A tiring Newcastle against a really lively Fulham. And then we have on midnight Burnley versus Everton. Okay, I'm not too sure about Burnley, but at home they are much stronger. But Everton also strong in terms of form right now. On Sunday we have Arsenal versus Brighton. That'll be interesting. If you have double up Arsenal, you expect you want to keep a clean sheet, but Brighton is an attacking side. If I'm right, they have been scored. Oh, sorry, that is conceding goal, I suppose, not scored. And then we have Brentford versus Villa. Okay, interesting match. Thomas Frank versus Unai Emery. Aston Villa, I mean, just a quick one. Villa has after that 1-year against Arsenal, they already continued their 15 winning streak at home, and looks likely they might continue that. But away is a different thing. And then we want to see West Ham versus Wolves. Can they bounce back from that 5-0 loss against Fulham? But it's against Wolves. And then last but not least, the biggest match for this week for sure on paper, Liverpool versus Manchester United side. But I suppose Manchester United fan feels they're coming to Liverpool. But I still remember they won week, right? Last time in Anfield, man. Right. Okay. What you can think about Gameweek 17 fixture, man? You're on mute.
In any other day, Liverpool Manchester United would not be the biggest match because of how Manchester United are at the moment. But when you look at all the fixtures, yeah, it is, because a lot of the fixtures are top versus bottom. Yeah, so got Aston Villa rated, Arsenal rated. Well, Arsenal Brighton is still up there.
Yeah.
But then you also have Chelsea versus Sheffield, and then Manchester City versus Palace, Newcastle versus Fulham. So it'd be interesting to see. The first match, the Spurs versus Forest. Now, Forest are a team on the down. To be fair, they did draw, but you can see there's a lot of problems, and Spurs are looking very explosive at the moment. So I think home and away doesn't quite matter for Spurs. So I'm wondering whether there's a potential captain there, alternative captain. Definitely something to wonder about. But again, then you'll face what I faced last week if you did that, which was last week the Liverpool was the first match and City was the last match. So in this case, you're going up. Sun is the first match and Salah is the last match. So anyway, I'll just throw that out there. So Bournemouth versus Luton, we know Bournemouth is on the up, but to be fair, Luton have improved as well, but maybe not enough for us to discount Bournemouth, who've looked much better. Chelsea versus Sheffield United. To be fair, this game can go anywhere. I don't dare predict this one because Chelsea again more disruption. James injured, Sanchez potentially injured. Could Sheffield get at least a draw out of that? They could. City versus Palace is by right City could waste them, but then City haven't looked their normal attacking self in recent weeks. But Palace also have a lot of injuries. We'll talk about it in our deadline stream, but more in the deadline stream. But I know they've got Johnston out, Edward out, so a lot of their key players are out as well. I don't know if Mitchell will be back either. Just to name a few examples. Newcastle versus Fulham, I also mentioned just now about how Newcastle may be tired and Fulham are looking good. So Fulham, to be fair, it is at St. James Park, but who knows? Jimenez might get to do something here. Yeah, so other than that, Arsenal versus Brighton will be an interesting one. I think Arsenal double defenders still hoping clean sheet. We know that Brighton has scored pretty much every game.
Yeah.
So
if I'm right, also Brighton actually win against Arsenal last year at their own stadium when they really won that points to catch up Man City, right? But yeah.
The only problem with that for Brighton is that Brighton are also in the Europa. They also have a Europa fixture going on. So they play Marseille, but fortunately it's at home. So but it is
Arsenal has an extra day off.
Yeah, but the good thing, because after what happened for the last round of Europa matches, Brighton have already qualified for the next round. So it's just a case of because Marseille are first, Brighton are second. So it's just a case of who whether or not they want to be on top of the table. Yeah.
Okay, those are the fixture for Gameweek 18, man. Let's talk about captaincy, man.
70.
All right. The captain pick for this week, clearly I took out poll from Fantasy Football Scout and also Football Hub. Both side goes to Salah as the best captaincy option this mean. Despite playing Manchester United, but we believe Manchester United without Maguire, you mentioned, without Shaw, without Bruno Fernandes, it's really look team right for Manchester United, and Salah really on form, especially. Oh, there's no Haaland on top three, but on Football Hub is still there. But second is actually voted second, even though they're playing away to Forest, okay, and they're playing early kickoff. So I think those are the sentiment that people think when the Sun is. But 17 points he scored in game week 16, that fresh in my mind, in their mind, to think maybe Sun could be another potential captaincy. Haaland, I suppose people won't go there, but the Ghost team will still continue there. He could be the most captain players also for game week 70. I will not be surprised on that. But do you think this is an opportunity to
Well,
get
okay.
Salah?
So the thing is, because some people still vote for Haaland because they think he'll be fit. He might be fit. So if he is fit, then that Palace option looks very juicy.
But I still feel people will go for Salah for sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I suppose
because
the
thing with
if they say Haaland is clear to play, will he play all 90 minutes because he
True.
might want to focus for the Club World Cup?
Yeah. So the thing with Salah is that if Salah hadn't scored last weekend, would he be would the votes for him be that high? Because of course obviously Liverpool will have 1 week to recover because they don't have to worry about the Europa match. But it's just that those who had watched that Crystal Palace match have been frustrated with the Liverpool players. They could have done. Why weren't they not performing? Diaz, who started, he wasn't in it at all. He seemed already exhausted. He felt like I was watching a Newcastle player. he did practically nothing, whereas Darwin spent most of his time offside. So I know that again, as I mentioned earlier, we there's also the memory of Liverpool 7, Manchester United 0. It's a something that people don't want to miss out on that happening again, because the problem is with Manchester United, and which makes Salah such a good captain, is Bruno Fernandes, what we mentioned earlier, which was Bruno Fernandes injured, um, suspended. Sorry, Harry Maguire is injured.
Rashford
So that Rashford's off form. Haaland, I don't think maybe he scored 1 goal in the Premier League. I can't remember, but not much. Then of course Anthony, and so I don't know. I definitely I think my captain is on Salah at the moment, but I'm wondering I'm second guessing myself with this the right pick or not.
Okay, we shall see. But these are what people are voting right now. Salah is supposedly the best captaincy, assuming Haaland not fit. But if Haaland also fit, I already mentioned why Salah is still the better pick, because in terms of Haaland fitness and his focus for Club World Cup. Okay, so that's the thinking for captaincy. Quickly, before we talk about our team, the fixture ticker, as always, before we decide how we're going to construct our team for this week. In terms of fixture ticker, Chelsea are up there. But if you talk about which Chelsea player you want to bought in, you're not going to talk about Reece James anymore. The only people we talk about Palmer, but he scored 1 point last week and he's got 4 yellow cards. If you were to jump into him, well, there will always be risk. And if people want to mention about who else that you think about in terms of Chelsea assets, Sterling on 4 yellow cards. You believe in Chelsea defense, you can go to Colwill. But we can talk about fixture, because recovery period for Chelsea also is going to be tight in December. And we can see Pochettino are not afraid to rotate. Cucurella is there. Azmin mentioned about Augusto coming back, could be potentially. Disasi, Bernard is there. Thiago Silva can also be rested easily against Everton last week. So there's enough rotation that can happen for Chelsea. So just for you guys to be aware. Even Palmer being benched, somewhere there before this, right? Against Brighton. Yeah. Other than that, Luton second ticker. I don't think we're going to take any Luton assets. Brighton, if you feel you interest, but Mitoma, are you going to go there? Maybe Gross, if you believe him. Um, West Ham, maybe if you interest about Bowen, but Bournemouth at fifth in terms of ticker. So if you have Solanke and start with him, you can just easily play against the likes of Spurs or Liverpool anyway, and then West Ham until game week 2021-22. I mean, other than that, Man City, Crystal Palace at the bottom of the ticker. Man City maybe that blank, but Crystal Palace are facing Man City, Brighton, Chelsea, Arsenal in the next six.
Yep. So Liverpool are not that up because they play Manchester United and Arsenal and Newcastle uh, uh in the next four. So but it's just that Liverpool
They're playing at home.
statistically wise at the moment, attacking wise they're good, and the tough match, all those three tough matches are all at Anfield. So which is why it becomes a very favorable matchup. But it's just a question of, aside from Salah, who else do you pick? Once again, that's a question
The
that
next one,
we got.
this one definitely, I think TAA if you can afford him, right?
Yep, and TA has become available, especially to those who, I mean, the thing is, those who had sold Haaland in what, game week 8, I think it was, your TA may have already come into the teams because of the funding that they already have. So now, if Haaland is not available for game week 17, it does open up a lot of money that you can spend on anyone, and that includes getting TAA. Maybe you know, hypothetically, Reece James to TAA could be an option now. But as mentioned by a lot of content creators, and something we've also noted, is the fact that, again, there's some tough fixtures coming up. So will he recover the same amount of points if he didn't, if he wasn't, I mean, sure, he's in form, but will he get the same amount of points? Is he worth it? So that's something we have to find out.
Okay, man. Let's jump to our team, man.
Yep, let's do it. It's
I
1:15.
go to my team first.
Yep.
I got 0.5 million in the bank and only one free transfer. As you can see, man, I'm actually have a thin squad to play for game week 17. I have two players suspended this week, which is Brentford and Taylor on my
Yeah.
bench. And Arula still a suspect whether he can be available this week, right? I mean, so
Yeah.
that's another question that I have to look at. And also Haaland is something that all of us need to pay attention first. So taking into account those things, Aurora in goal for at this juncture, Pedro Porro, Gabriel and Simikas. I think I'm gonna play Simikas, and I hope Simikas won't play any minutes in Europa League, man. That's my wish for this week. And if that's the case, I'm certain Simikas gonna start against Manchester, and Simikas should not be afraid to just bomb up into on the left side for Liverpool. And then he also is involved in any penalty. The corner kick take. So I think is decent to have. I'm gonna play him. If not, I'm gonna be in trouble, man. If Simikas or Gabriel not playing this week because I don't have anyone to come in. I actually took out Lascelles over Brentford. Maybe in my thinking at that juncture is Everton are better informed. Lascelles and then Joshua could potentially at risk with Botman could come in anytime soon, but I'm not too sure whether that will happen anytime. So in terms of midfield, Palmer, Gordon, San, Salah, and Saka. Captaincy on Salah right now. Haaland and Watkins for sure. If let's say Haaland is confirmed not available, then I can see myself bringing Solanke without any hesitant. I feel 6.6 million. take advantage of Luton Town match and then Forest match and blank game week 18. But I'm not sure I'm gonna took another hit for Dubravka. Looks like it. I don't have any room to play around, and maybe I the best thing is actually to take hit for Dubravka. But if let's say Haaland is confirmed fit, maybe I just get in Dubravka. Sooner or later, I want him, right? What do you think, man?
Okay, so there's also issue. Just to add an expanded to your works is that Gordon. There's rumors that he may not be available for
Oh
Milan tonight.
man,
So whether that's just for Milan, he's being rested because he looked terribly exhausted. But to be fair, most of the Toon squad did. Um, even Trippier, who's not a spring chicken these days, but still. So monitor that as well. But at the moment, you are bare. So the questions that you need to ask is, do you want to replace your keeper? Okay, you have 0.5 in the bank, so theoretically there are some options there. I don't you you but you I don't think you can afford Leno though. For example, Leno is still out of range. I think. Um.
4.2, maybe just enough. No
o-
price rise, but
Okay. Yeah. So can Leno's 4.2 only.
4.7. Leno
Ah.
4.7. Barilla
Or just
4.2.
ah. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's a risk there. So if the only way you'd bring a keeper is either if Haaland is fit, or
Yeah.
so you don't have to deal with the Haaland issue, or you believe in the Sheffield United resurgence and field Archer. So to get that's if you decide to deal with your keeper. So if Haaland isn't fit and you don't believe in the Sheffield resurgence, then you'll have to make a move there. And I'm not sure where Haaland to whom is your question. You need to solve that for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. With the impression that maybe game week 19 they play Everton, so it's going looks like it's going to be tough. But game week 20 you're going to be wanting Haaland back, so you probably might not want to spread the funds.
Yeah. I hope I won't take any hit from it, but there is possibility we need to do that, right? I mean, so I feel I need to open that option if there's player missing. I take
Yeah,
might take a hit for this week and plan for a hit. So yeah, pretty much this is the team for now. I hope
yep,
will be fit. And I will deal the position. Gordon, if not fit, then Archie come in. I just play whatever players that I have for now.
yeah. Take one hit, but not more, not
Mhm.
more than that.
Okay, let's
Okay.
go to your team. In. What's your plan?
Yep. So I have two free transfers. So on my case, Dubravka is also a issue. I mean, rumor has it Karius is going to start tonight. For Newcastle, but hopefully that means Dubravka will be given enough chance to be ready. So that's a problem. Reece James is a issue. Also, definitely, I need to figure out what to do with him. Do I need to deal with him now or not? TA, Pedro, Zinchenko, no issues. San, Salah, Palmer, no issue. Gordon is an issue, so I have to monitor that. Semenyo isn't an issue. I'm bringing Semenyo in at the moment. That's how I've set it up. So Haaland becomes an issue. So we believe in Bournemouth's resurgence. That's clear. It's just that Solanke is the pick, and to a lesser extent Billing. So Semenyo and Kluivert, to be fair, they were always fillers who started. But in my squad, they were only on the bench to come when needed. But this might be a week where they will come in. It's a favorable matchup against Luton. They are at home. Semenyo is a striker. The thing is, both Semenyo and Kluivert don't get 90 minutes, but they
Okay,
start. They
okay.
clear starters, but they don't get 90 minutes. Yeah, obviously Trippier suspended, so that also reduces my range. But I am okay. So let's say at the moment, because I have this one is not updated. So at the moment I've got Kluivert in for James. So I'm
Okay,
at a 3-5-2 at the moment with
I like
with
that.
Haaland still there. So the question is, I don't trust Mope at the moment. I'm not sure. It may have been a mistake having him, but I don't know. Yeah, we do not appeal him. So
Okay,
I am.
I'll suggest something.
Yes, go ahead.
I think what I feel that you could do is actually downgrade James to a cheap filler like 3.9 or 4 million and upgrade Mopi at 5 million, is it? I'm not sure how much is Mopi.
4.9.
4.9, okay, 5 million. Uh, yeah, I think you got 1 million plus, right? Maybe you could actually upgrade Mopi to Solanke. Can you do that?
Yes, but I don't want to because I already have Semenyo and Kluivert as Bournemouth players. I don't want to triple up on Bournemouth players. I really have to trust that if Solanke scores, Semenyo and Kluivert will be part of it. So I've already ruled out Solanke from my options. I really don't want to overload on three
Uh,
Bournemouth players.
okay, I understand, but I like that option if you can.
Yeah.
If not, you go
If you
Raul Jimenez, is it?
Yeah, if you notice, I've overloaded on Newcastle players and on Liverpool players by accident with my wild card. So, what was your question, though? Sorry.
Uh, could Raul Jimenez also another option?
Yes, Jimenez is an option. Watkins is still an option. I haven't ruled him out, even though I'm skeptical of Villa at the moment. But and also Alvarez. So if I
But if
feel
you
Alvarez,
if Fred, then next week you need to deal with him, right? It's because he's
yeah,
blank.
well, next week Trippier comes back, so I have a bench that can deal with it, so
Okay,
I
all right,
don't mind.
okay,
I
okay.
just need to decide, is our City going to waste Palace? If they are, then I think Alvarez is worth it. But if I don't think so, given City and it doesn't look great the way City are playing at the moment, then that's the no.
All right, fair, fair. We'll discuss more, I think. But that is the plan. I mean, I think James definitely you need to tackle because he'll be out for a while. Other than that, if Haaland an issue, then that's another thing. You could keep Trippier because you have a good bench for anyone to come in for him for sure. Let's take some question, Min. Rakan FPL they ask about Haaland keep or sell. I think it's depending on news. If Pep mentioned about he's available and you can keep him. If not, you sell. But the worst thing can happen is we do not hear anything from Pep. That will be the worst one, Min. Min, you're on mute.
Yeah, wait. At this time, X minutes is the most important criteria for us, so don't sell. Wait,
Yeah.
don't trade lah. Wait.
Okay. Right. Next question about Tavernier or Solanke. We did discuss about Solanke, but not much in Tavernier. Tavernier playing in midfield, right?
Yeah, but Tavernier is also crossing and taking some of the free kicks, but and he has been assisting. But if given a choice, Solanke all the way.
All right. Next about Bournemouth versus or Everton defend to buy. Azmin mentioned about Senesi double digit back to back.
Yeah.
So maybe you
So
interest about Senesi.
Everton, if you feel like getting Pickford, because at the end they okay, with Brentford suspended, he seems to be only one I would be interested in buying because at the end of the day, Everton defenders are not sexy enough in terms unless you go for
Michaelenko.
Michaelenko. Yeah, so that could be an option. So it really is between Michaelenko or Senesi because they're cheap as well, so they don't take up a lot of space.
4.4, yeah.
So
4. Yeah. Brentford not
Senesi.
so
No, Michaelenko. Is that fourth yellow card for Michael Senesi is putting me off. If your squad is at risk, then go for Michaelenko. Otherwise, Senesi.
right. Question about Isaac or Wilson. I think Wilson already come back from injury. Minutes are going to be shared, but there's potential that Isaac going to play the Champions League and Wilson start on the league game. So maybe if you want to trust Wilson, but we know the risk. That's what I feel. Me.
I'd avoid both to be honest. It's
Yeah.
just too. Wilson is coming back from injury. No way he's gonna play 90 minutes, and they definitely gonna share. So no, too risky for me.
Right. Next question about goalkeeper department. Pickford, Leno, or Neto. I think Leno is the one, but Fulham can also concede. Everton are right form now, but are we going to go for Pickford anyway?
I hate saying this, but I go for Pickford. They feel the more secure ones at the moment compared to Leno and Neto.
So
Both
maybe I
Chelsea
could bring
and Neto.
Pickford, 4.4 million, right? I'll think about that.
I haven't even checked. I'm just disgusted.
Right. Other than that, are we going to any other than Liverpool asset, Luis Diaz or Gakpo, man? Would you recommend?
Okay, so here's the thing. Luis Diaz, he looked exhausted, but Gakpo looked good when he came on. In the times that he's come on, he's looked good. So let's see how Thursday night comes in. What do we do? To be fair, both Diaz and Gakpo might not even play, but because it doesn't matter. But take a look first.
Okay.
I do, but if you're given the choice, I'd go for Gakpo and not Diaz.
Okay, question about Spurs, man. I like this, man. Richardson, Johnson, Kurosaki, especially if you want to go forward, man, after Sun going to Asian Cup. Richardson will be the force that we're going to take, right, man? Playing at midfield, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I'm not sure.
Okay, if you this is on the assumption you already have Sun or you can't afford Sun because otherwise because these are all midfield picks. So I would go for Richarlison because I feel that he is the resurgence is there and he could go on the streak. So if I had to choose, I go for Richarlison.
Yeah, I agree with you. Last but not least, Mitoma keep us sell. I think it's an easy sell.
Easy sell.
Right, man? Just 1.5 hours mark, man. So we complete our Gameweek 17 pod for this week. What's your last word, man?
Be patient, ignore the transfer traffic. It really doesn't do anything. So just wait, get as much news as you can on get watch the press conferences. It really is crunch time right now. So we've seen a lot of squads having short teams because of suspension, injury. So wait, just wait.
Yep. I think that's the best advice that Azmin could offer. Wait for news, if as much as possible, especially it's Friday deadline, man. So it's going to be a tough one, scrambling for news with the Haaland news, with the Gordon news you mentioned. We're also interested about Dubravka news, whether it's fit. And we're looking forward to the Champions League match and Europa League match coming up. So until then, man, and the rest of it, thank you for watching and hope to see you again in the next hour stream. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.